$4,000 to $11,000 US dollars. That's the answer you're looking for, but let's see how we got there, because it's not so much about how much you spend as it is how you're gonna spend it. So to start a business on Amazon, the first thing you're gonna need is your Amazon seller account. Now that's gonna cost you $40 or $0. You see, there's many ways to skin a cat. So depending on your budget, you could go with the bare bones method or a more comfortable method to starting a business on Amazon. So I'm gonna go over both of them and then let you decide. First, we need to establish the way we're gonna make money on Amazon, because there's a few, but what I talk about is private label, meaning I find products, source them in China, and then sell them on Amazon for a profit. There's also wholesaling and reselling, but I like private label because it's the only way that lets you build your own brand, which means you're not married to Amazon. You're really making your own product's brand and using Amazon as your main sales channel. But to pull this off, there's 3 levels of expenses. The first is the necessary, the second is the optional, and then the third is the hidden. Now, just like real estate, with this business, you make your money when you buy, when you find your product. So the first necessary expense is for your product research software. Now, I like to use a software called Helium 10, and this is how you find products to sell on Amazon. It's an absolute necessity to use a software like this, otherwise you'll be sifting through Amazon's millions and millions of garbage products without knowing which one to actually sell. Now, Helium 10 costs $99 a month, but if you use my affiliate link, you can go ahead and get it for 50% off for the first month. So we're gonna put that down as $50. The next necessary expense is setting up your actual business, which means getting an LLC or a corporation, getting an EIN, getting your name registered, and everything like that. Now, this is where we can go bare bones or comfortable. The comfortable method. It's gonna cost you anywhere from $600 to $800. Now, this is something you don't wanna mess up. You wanna get off on the right foot when starting your business. So find a lawyer that is familiar with Amazon FBA, that is familiar with e-commerce. Now, the alternative, the bare bones method, will cost you actually $0 because it's gonna be called not doing this at all. Skipping this step, not setting up as a business, and going forward as a sole proprietor. That means you're setting up your Amazon business under your own personal name. It's completely free and you can do that. And if you're brand new to this, maybe it is the best way to go just to dip your toe and start making those sales. But once you get at least $30,000 in sales, which will happen fast, you gotta make sure you incorporate or start your LLC right away. But at the beginning, you can save some money by not going that route. So if you're following along, for the setup section, you need anywhere from $50 to $690. The next thing that we're gonna look at is the cost of the actual product. Now, this is your bread and butter. To make sure you get a good product, you wanna make sure that you don't skip this step, which is getting samples. And that'll cost you anywhere from $150 to $300 depending on how many samples you get. Now, the only way to succeed on Amazon in this day and age is to build a real business. And you can't do that if you're skipping and cutting corners like a lot of people will suggest you to do. And make sure you're vetting your suppliers so you know that the product that you sell on Amazon is actually going to be quality. And for that reason, there's no real bare bones option to this method, but just know that if you get a sample from a supplier and you decide to go and purchase the full order, they will usually reimburse the sample price into the cost of your order. $500. Now, this is gonna be your cost for design. The branding of your product is not something you wanna skimp out on. It's very important that you know who your customer is, what I like to call the purchaser persona. When you know who your customer is, it's a lot easier to sell to them. And it's a lot easier to sell to them when you brand your products appropriately. So spending money for your logo, your packaging, your product inserts is gonna take you a long way. Now, there is a bare bones method to this. It's called doing it yourself, DIY. There's a lot of free tools like Canva that'll let you design a logo that can help you with designing your branding with a bunch of free templates, totally free to use. So if you don't wanna spend the 500, maybe even more, 1,000 plus for this part, you could try to DIY it. But if you're not artistic, definitely don't do that, because there's no easier way to guarantee you won't get any sales than to make a product that looks like crap. $1,000 to $3,000. That's what you're gonna spend on your first inventory order. Now, truth be told, you could be spending a lot more than that, but probably never lower than $1,000. So that's your minimum bar. Now, I budgeted this out at $3 to $5 per unit at 300 to 500 units. Now, keep in mind, this is very dependent on every individual product. But if you know that you have a certain current budget you want to stay under for your inventory, that's where tools like Helium-10 come in very clutch, because you can filter out products based on your budget, so you know that you're not going to be launching products that are too heavy, too big, too expensive to move forward with. And just remember that this is not as much a cost as it is an investment. This is where you're going to start actually making a return on your money. So don't let this cost sour you from the opportunity of Amazon FBA. And I'm going to show you a cost at the end of this video that's a lot scarier than this one. But next, $1,200 to $2,000, and this is the one that's changed the most in recent times. And that is the price of shipping. Getting your product from your manufacturer in China onto a boat, a plane, and a truck, and then getting it to the Amazon warehouse in the United States. Now, because of the situation of the world, this price has gone up. Supply chain issues, restrictions, and a handful of other things have caused this, but this could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your perspective. It's bad if you're only looking at it as a higher cost. It's good if you're looking at it at the opportunity. Because the same situation that caused these prices to go up has also increased the demand for products on Amazon. So as sellers and as entrepreneurs, if we can be savvy and smart about getting around these new slightly higher shipping costs and work them into our cost estimates, then we can also reap the benefit of the increased demand on Amazon, of Amazon getting 50 million and 100 million new Prime members over the course of this 1 to 2 year span. E-commerce is booming right now, so I would hate for something as simple as shipping to stop you from taking advantage of this opportunity. That being said, it is still more expensive. Now, this is where most people would stop the tally, but I don't like to BS you guys. I want to make sure that if you get into this business, you are fully prepared for everything that's going to come your way. So this is not the end. There's still one more key thing, and we actually got to go backwards. Once you've done your calculation for your first order, $1,000 to $3,000 plus shipping, you also need to tack that same number back on again for your second inventory order. You see, the unspoken truth about physical products businesses is that there's a bit of a cash flow crunch, because you got to pay for your inventory and you can't sell it for months after you pay for it. You gotta wait 30 days for it to get onto Amazon, and then you gotta wait weeks for it to sell, and then a couple of weeks for you to get your money, which means once you start selling, you need to order your second order right away. If you only budget for your first order, you're gonna run out of inventory, which is gonna kill your Amazon ranking, and it's gonna waste all of your time. So when you calculate how much you need to sell on Amazon, calculate your first inventory order and your second, which means you're probably tacking on shipping a second time as well. $745. Now, this is the last of the comfortable method of selling on Amazon, and this is for people that I think are gonna take this very seriously. And that right there is for your trademark. Now, getting a trademark for your brand on Amazon is gonna open a lot of opportunities for you and give you special content that you can post on your listing to make you more certified and make you look more legit as an Amazon seller. It'll also stop other sellers from hijacking your listing, hijacking your products, and selling copycats to yours. This gives you a bit more breathing space and room in the ever competitive Amazon marketplace. So if you're gonna build a real business, I definitely suggest getting a trademark, but if you're going bare bones and you're just trying to scrap it out, you can skip this part for now. So if you're following along, that comes out to $4,390 to $11,230. Now there's one more hidden expense that actually costs more than all of this. That is $67,000 cost of lost money. So what kind of expense would cost me to lose all that money? Well, it was the cost of mistakes. Now this right here is assuming everything goes right and you do things properly, which really is not that hard to do. It's mostly a formulaic approach if you are gonna start an Amazon business today. But the cost of mistakes, the cost of shortcuts, the cost of not knowing what you're doing will cost you a whole lot more. So if you want to make sure that doesn't happen, go click the link in my bio, join my free Discord community. It's not a course, it's not a pitch, it's a free community where it's a mastermind. We talk to each other, we help each other grow, and you can message me directly, ask questions so you don't fall into the same pitfalls and simple mistakes that I made over these last 6 years. Again, it's a free Discord community, and if you go there, you can also get this free spreadsheet where I break down the bare bones cost, which we mentioned, and the comfortable cost with all the links with my Amazon specific lawyer and the company that does my trademarks and everything I talked about in this video. Because unfortunately, I know these numbers scared off a lot of people, but what can I say? Amazon is a real business and it takes real money to get started. I'm not here to convince you that it's great. I'm just here to show you how it's done. And if you want to see more about how it's done, click this video right here to see the step-by-step process of finding products, getting them shipped, getting them made, and starting to actually sell them for a profit on Amazon. It's probably the best video you're gonna find for free on the internet to show you this process. So click there now, and I'll see you there.